Okay. First of all, I always want to thank you guys for being here and covering our team. It's really important to me and to them. I'm hopeful that every night we play here that we'll put a product on the floor that more people want to come support. I know the value of a home court advantage. I know that not too long ago, Vanderbilt women's basketball games were close to sold out. And I think we have something pretty special here in this locker room. And I think that, in the first two games, hopefully you guys have seen that. So I would love to have the opportunity for them to play in front of more people, more media every single day that we come out on the court. So I just want to say thank you for writing about us. Thank you for covering us. It means a lot to me. That being said, I told them in there's a lot that I'm proud of today. Our effort sticks out. I think this early in the season, that's the one thing for me, and that's why you heard them say what they said. That is a non-negotiable. The effort and energy, the positivity we play with, how together we are, that is a non-negotiable. Sometimes you're going to make, every layup, and sometimes you're going to miss every layup. It felt like we did tonight. I told them we scored 93 points, but I felt like we missed 93 layups. That's okay. We're getting them. But our defense can never give up wide open layups and wide open threes. So it wasn't necessarily, credit to Austin Peay for exposing us a little bit in the first quarter. But I feel like that is always us. We have to come out and play from start to finish like we practice, and we have to be disciplined. So I'm glad that happened in the first quarter, and I was proud of the way we turned it around. I also like how many players contributed today. It's really important this early in the season to know what you have on your team. So I have a pretty good idea with our starting five, top seven, but I thought some of the players that came in and played significant minutes off the bench today added a lot. And that is a really, really great thing for me to see this early in the season. We are going to get back to work tomorrow because now we play a couple of really tough games. One on the road in particular next week, our next game, that I'm excited to see what we look like and how disciplined we actually are playing in a tough environment on the road against a very good team.
We'll go ahead and open the floor for questions. We'll start with Grace Hall from Vanderbilt Hustler. Go ahead.
Coach, what did you see out of Leilani today? Her first game as a Commodore, she seemed to really mesh out there on the court with your girls. Just what did you see out of her play today?
She does. She's blue collar. So when we looked at our roster after the year last year and knew what we had coming in, I think some of the gaps we had were just experience and versatility, some size, and some. Leilani has it. You know what I mean? Like, she just does whatever the team needs her to do to win. Juice kind of does the same thing. You guys watch them; they're all over the place. They don't have to shoot it, but they'll get open layups and open shots because they cut so hard and they screen well for other players, and they rebound and play great defense no matter what's going on. I felt like we were missing that a little bit with the experience that they bring. I think between the two of them, they started like 158 games at their respective colleges. So for what Leilani's been through to get to this point, I was really impressed with how she showed up today. Didn't spend a lot of the summer with us, had to graduate, wasn't able to work out with us, and then immediately had to go through this procedure that sidelined her for a little bit. So she looked pretty good to me for having been out, most of the preseason and the summer.
Lana Morris, Vandy Sports, go ahead.
Ayana talked about how she enjoys watching them, but how do you think the bench kind of helps the players on the court feed off of their energy?
The bench is a good indicator of the strength of your culture, to me. Most of sports is learning how to celebrate other people, learning how to operate within a group of people so that you can reach your ultimate goal as a team. Some days it's going to be your night, some days it's not. And there's a lot of nights where the kids that you saw play a lot of minutes today, they spend a lot of time on the bench. And so for them to have that moment today, and for our starters and the people that do get a lot of time to sit there and give them what they give every single day, every single game, is really important. It's reflective of who we are in our locker room, of how we support each other, and of the culture that we're building. I'm really proud of that. That was awesome to watch.
Brandon Bixley, Vandy Sports.
You guys held Austin Peay to just 11 points in the second half. What did you feel like was the difference that really helped you guys succeed on that end compared to the first?
I'm not sure it was technical. I think we just played with a little bit more pride defensively. I want my players to take defense personally. I want them to take when people score on us personally. And that doesn't mean we're not going to make mistakes, and I don't want them to get down about that. We are. Basketball is a game of runs. We're not going to hold people scoreless. But everything they do has to be really hard fought. It has to be contested, and they only get one chance to do it. And then we go the other way, and we get as many chances as we want. I think when you play this game long enough and you have offensive firepower, some days the ball's going to go in, some days it's going to not. Right? It's going to feel like you can't throw it in the ocean. But there should never be a day where we play defensively and give up stuff, where we don't play all-out effort with a high level of discipline and a high level IQ, because that's all it is heart and discipline. So that makes me really angry when we don't do that, because we can't afford to not to. We can't create that habit, especially this early. The ball's going to go in, it may not, but it better be really tough to score on us. If it is, it's going to be very tough to beat us. People are going to have to beat us, and we won't lose. You know the difference. You can lose, or you play really well and people just have to beat you. I think my team, if we play as well as we do defensively the last couple games, will be very tough to beat.
Lana Morris, go ahead.
Is there a certain area that you want your team to focus on before your first road game?
It's late. How long do you have? No, I think right now I'd like for us to be a little bit more patient and disciplined on offense. That doesn't mean slow down. I want us to play very intelligently. So I felt like we did that for the most part today, but I mean, 12 turnovers, 15 assists on 32 baskets. I'd like to see that be a little higher as well. I think we can move the ball a little bit better. And that's different for this team, because for the past couple of years, we've had a couple people that need to take a lot of shots, right? So now we're teaching them how to move the ball a little bit more, screen and cut. We don't have to take a good shot if we have a great shot. We can keep moving the ball. So I'd like to see that develop. I'd also like to see us score a little more in transition smoothly. So I felt like we didn't do a good job of that in the first half, where we can transition from turning people over to getting a great shot. And if we don't get a great shot, you'll see us move seamlessly into our offense. Sometimes it's like we throw the ball out, we get a layup, or we walk the ball over half court. I'd like to see a combination of both.
Go ahead.
Kind of in response to that question, so on the men's side, Coach Byington listed every player as a point guard coming into the season. Is that kind of the mentality that you take when you want this team to take a step forward, or are there particular
No. There are people I do not want dribbling.
Okay.
No. Yeah. I don't mind decision making with the ball, but let's set each other up for success. So I did see that. That's pretty cool. I don't have that, but I think we have some really good players that can make decisions with the ball. They just have to be smart decisions. So I'm not going to relegate. I'm not a coach that pigeonholes our players. I don't even know who came up with numbers or positions. I do like a versatile style of basketball, but let's set each other up for success, and let's do things on the court that we're great at. Let's not try to do things that we're not great at or that we don't practice.
Brandon Bixby.
You mentioned on Monday after the game that you wanted to see your team continue to take steps forward each and every game. Would you say to you guys did that this game, or did you feel like it was around the same or a step back?
I think we did that. I'm happy with some of the people that contributed today that maybe didn't get the opportunity to, or didn't do so the first game. I also felt like we were tested a little more in the first quarter. We kind of shot ourselves in the foot, but like I said, credit to Austin Peay, because they tested our defense, and I liked the response that I had. And it was immediate. You know, a lot of times in the past, and this team isn't that, but it can take a little bit longer, and I'm really happy with that. I'm happy with our conditioning. I think our conditioning looks pretty good right now for this time of year, for the minutes that they're getting in these last two games, and I attribute that to their effort in practice and to the fact that they show up ready to go. So I do think we took a step forward today. I think the next 5 days of practice, I think it's 5 days before we play again, are really important, because there's things that we need to get better at, that we need to work on. If we don't get those things right in our next few games, then it could cost us.
Coach, can you, you mentioned about bench points earlier. Can you talk about Madison Green and the impact she has had? In this game, she had 13 points. Last game, she had 16. Just coming off that injury and her kind of stepping into a role, especially in like the absence of
She is like a bull in a china shop, a little bit. She's a bulldog, and it's one of the things I recognized right away when we went to watch her play in the summer when she was in high school. She's relentless. I like coaching players like that. They're fun to coach. And for Maddie, what I do know, and we talked a little about this last game, is that coming back from an injury, you need time. You need to play. The injury that she has, she needs to play. So you saw her play a lot of minutes the last couple games for that very reason. I expect her to be on the court playing big minutes for us all year. And I want her to feel comfortable doing so. So I thought for the most part today, her conditioning looked really good. She ran the team well. I want her to be able to play defensively like that for long periods of time. She did a great job. But Maddie isn't a one-trick pony. So I think what you're seeing is that she's able to distribute, she's able to score, she's able to defend. That makes her a lot tougher for other teams to handle. And when you have the right pieces around players like that, similar to the two sitting here, when you have the right pieces around them, it's a lot easier for them to do what they're great at. And I think this team is starting to figure that out.
All right, Coach, well, congratulations on the victory.